What up, Tube? What are we doing today? Maintenance on the Cayman. We have a long drive coming up. We're going to be going to Las Vegas from South Texas and to do the 10th anniversary of Supras in Vegas. Yes, we're not taking a Supra. We sold the Supra. But we run the event, so we got to be there. And we have, as of right now, we have 210 Supras registered, which is awesome, especially the weird year we've had with everything being canceled and whatnot. We have a road course event, we have a car show, a dyno, everything. Of course, we're going to be responsible about it all within the regulations of the state of Nevada and the local venues. It's going to be a lot of fun, but I got to, we haven't done a lot of maintenance, done oil and did a bunch of little things, but what we're going to do today is we're going to change the spark plugs. So you can do regular maintenance on these cars. It's not hard. Porsches are not hard to maintain. Maybe once you get past like 2016, they're a little bit more difficult to get to certain things. But spark plugs are spark plugs. So we're going to take that cover off. It's going to be a T20 right there, and it's going to be 10 millimeters right there. We're going to take this shield off too. That's going to give us access right into there. And yeah, let's go over and see what tools we're using. I got my trusty electric ratchet. I'm hoping it's going to fit, make things a little easier in areas where we might need it once we loosen the spark plug. We got a regular ratchet, 3/8 drive. I got my 1/4-inch ratchet with an extension just in case. Got a flashlight because we need light. My locking 3/8 extension, my regular 3/8 extension. I got a universal wobble 3/8 male female. We got a E10 our socket that's going to be needed to take the coil packs off. We have our 5/8 spark plug socket, standard 5/8 spark plug socket, and then a 10 millimeter socket. Don't lose it. And then obviously our T20 to take that guy off. So we're going to get started. We're going to go down. It's a little gloomy out there today here in Texas. It's been raining on and off, but it's a beautiful day. The weather is not so hot. When we're in here, we're going to wipe this down. We're just going to use an all-purpose cleaner to get some of this area a little cleaned off. So this is stage 1 of maintenance. Stage 2, new brakes and rotors. That'll be shortly after. Stage 3, oil change and putting the LM Engineering oil adapter that we picked up along with a new oil filter and new oil. So real quick, I'm going to see if we can't see our new little aluminum piece we got. If you see right here beyond the exhaust, this little block, that block right there we picked up from LM Engineering. It bolts onto the bottom brace and allows you to jack up the car from the dead center, making it a lot easier to put the jack stands down. And I know y'all saying you didn't jack up the car properly. We did. Jack stands on all 4 corners. On this one, we just always leave it there. I got that jack stand under the suspension arm there on the chassis. It just there's certain jack points to the Porsche, so that little block is a really cool accessory. It makes a whole lot. Alright, so we ended up taking off these 2 10s. This was a Torx down here. There's 2 Torx, let's go down here, and then another 10 right there. So we're just going to easily just remove these shields. These are just dust shields, really. Set them off to the side. This one, it's going to have a bunch of dirt on it. You can see it's falling out. We'll sweep in a minute. We wipe down the outside of it. I have a towel handy, but we'll sweep up some of the dirt that fell off. And then what we got is our heat shield for the spark plug. So we have a bolt here and one over here. Let's see if we can get close enough. Right in there. And then one more back there. So we're going to take those off. we'll slide the heat shield up and we'll access the coil packs. Alright, so we got that off. Oh, bright light. Okay, so this heat shield, and it's right here, I just slid it down. Okay, you got one right there. Okay, so you're gonna have one E10 bolt there and another one that goes into this hole down here. Well, it's not down there, but it goes up here in this area. They're not on there very tight, and they're just 6mm thread. So the electric ratchet popped it right off. I took it off, slid it down. That's going to expose all this stuff. We're going to clean some of this area off. I'm going to try to move this off to the side a little bit. I'm going to need both hands to do that, just so I have better access to the looks like these are probably T30s maybe. Let's go get the socket we need for that. I believe it's a T30. So there's your coil. Before you decide to undo that one bolt, what we're going to do is we're going to go in here, and you see each coil is going to have a a connector. So we need to unplug that connector on each one. So what I like to do is I'll pop it and lift it ever so slightly. It is tight, but it's already been popped and released. I'll take a flathead screwdriver. We get this guy under there, and we just lift it like that. Just turn it. Don't pry it, just turn it, and then it pops off. That's it. It's off. Alright, we're going to do that to the other three, and we'll get back. Alright, so we get them all unplugged. We're going to get our T30 on the end of our 1/4" ratchet and just break it loose. And as soon as it breaks loose, I will take it off. Sorry for the fuzzies. We take it off of here with your torn glove, and I just use the extension. Once it breaks loose, they're easy to come out, you know. And then don't lose it. Don't let it fall into here, because it's not a cool retrieval at that point. But yeah, just do that, nice and easy. Let it sit. Have a magnet handy just in case. Sorry for the horrible camera work there. There we go. It's off. It's right here. Okay. We'll set that aside on our tray. Alright, so we got that loose. I have to get the flash out of the way so I get my hand in there better, because it was sitting off to the side. Yeah, we got that loose. Oh, and pull the coil pack out. There she is. Inspect it, clean it off. Off to the side. Right there. Semi-pro tip. I put a towel, just an old towel, over the caliper and rotor, because when you're leaning in here sometimes, it really sucks to get a mouthful of rotor. It doesn't taste good. So we're going to do the other ones, and we're going to get back and take the spark plugs out. Alright, all coil packs are out. Give them a good wipe down, just clean them off. I don't know when these were last changed or taken off for spark plugs. When we bought the vehicle, it had 58,000 miles on it. So it's going to have some grime. We cleaned off the engine, so things that came from the top to the bottom accumulated. Just wipe it down. Inspect this area. Make sure there's no oil on it. That's the tube that goes into your spark plug area of the head. If there's oil on there, you might have a valve cover issue where it's leaking through, or you do, really. This right here, you'll see this one's a little dirty. This is just grime that's built up. I just wiped it down. I'm going to clean it off a little better in a sec here. And then what we're going to do is move up to the actual spark plug. And the spark plug hole is right there. So the nice thing is there's nothing super fancy about it. We're going to use our locking extension. Now, I did bring the wobble here just in case for the back one. So we're going to try to tackle that guy first. So I'm not sure it's gonna pick up too well, but I took the glove off, by the way, right down there, right down the barrel. That's the furthest of the spark plug holes. So I'm going to feed my guy in here. Make sure it's got a nice grip to it. And the wobble helps a little. It gives you a little bit of an angle. I have my locking socket in there, or extension, which is nice. I'm going to use my longer ratchet. I didn't show it earlier, but my longer one, just so we can pry it loose. Alright, so now it's on there. You got your wobble, it gives you a little bit of play. That's it. Flashlight fell. And once it's a little bit loose, you can even use the electric ratchet at this point and get it out. So we're going to get all those out. We'll look at them. Alright, all 3 spark plugs are out. Again, I just like to lay them down in front of the respective coils they were on. Sorry for the shake on trying to get that first one off. But all the other ones came out simple because you got a straight shot at them with the extension. Dirty, hands dirty. This is the old spark plug. They all look about the same. You know, if you look at them, they got pretty good wear on them. You know, looks just a nice light brown. There's no oil on it. So it looks good. You know, it looks good. I'm happy with them. So it looks like they've been burning fine. This is what the new one looks like. You don't gap these, but this is what the new one looks like. We went with a Bosch replacement. We got them through Pelican Parts. Just look up your year, make, and model, and they give you the option, and we just went for it. Here's the little box. There's the part number I'm using. We're going to put the new ones in, the 3 on this side, and buckle everything back up, tighten everything down. These torque down per the factory service manual to 24 foot-pounds of torque. So we're going to actually torque them down. They're brand new. So brand new spark plugs per the Porsche service manual on the 2009 Cayman S, the MA91 engine. These torque down to 24 foot-pounds. If you're reusing one, so if you take these out just to do some maintenance and you're putting it back in, they torque down to 19 foot-pounds. So reuse 19 foot-pounds, brand new 24 foot-pounds. The bolts, the little Torx bolts, these guys for the coils, 7.5 foot-pounds. Just get them snug. They're just holding them in place. These, again, inspector seals, we already went over that. Let's take a good look at the actual holes. Take a look in there. Shine a light. Get a good view and inspect it well. That way you know what's going on with your motor. If you see oil, then you know you got to get some more maintenance in those chambers. There shouldn't be any oil. Alright, so again, 5A socket. We're on our extension with our locking mechanism on it. We're just going to slide the spark plug onto the spark plug socket, as so. Now, per Pelican Parts, we are not going to install any anti-seize on them. So we're just going to basically feed these in. I use the extension and just go as far as I can by hand. It's just safer. It doesn't, you know, you'll know you don't have enough torque in your hand to actually cross thread. So once you get it to seat, then I'm going to take my shorter ratchet of the two. Actually, I need to add an extension. So maybe it'll go like this. We'll go here, off camera. Here we go. Okay, and then we'll choke up. This is how I do it. I choke up on the head. The further down you are on your ratchet, the more torque you can give. So once I go as far as I can choked up on the head, I grab from the handle and I just give it a little bit of a tug, and then I'll grab my torque wrench and I'll double check for the 24 foot-pounds, and we'll finish it. So get it nice and snug. This is a low torque wrench, so it's a low range from 10 pound-feet to 85 pound-feet. This is not the one you'd want to use for your wheel lug nuts. It's a short handle, so we'll get it set it to 24 foot-pounds. You're good. Time to finish the other ones. All right, all set. Heat shields back on, bolts back on, bolts back on. We torqued everything down appropriately. We're going to put the splash guards back on here, and we're done. 2 splash guards, your bolts. Just reverse engineer that part. It's pretty self-explanatory. All in all, honestly, start to finish, maybe 30 minutes per side. You know, it took me a little longer, just because, you know, the other side's the same. But we were filming, and, you know, I was looking, I had to get up and because I forgot a socket or something. But, I mean, all in all, super simple job. The most complicated one is the one in this corner here, which would be the same on the other side. But it's not hard. There is plenty of room to get your hand in there with the ratchet. As soon as you break it loose, either the bolts for the heat shield or the bolts for the coil packs, you know, in the spark plugs, you can actually use the electric ratchet, so you're not sitting there trying to torque down or untorque down the in a little space. The electric ratchet has plenty of room in there to fit with an extension or two. Super easy. Don't be afraid to maintenance your vehicles. It's not any harder than doing a Honda Civic. It's just in a different spot. Nothing exotic on how to do this. We're going to go do the other side. This will be done. We still got to do the LM Engineering, not sponsored, but it's a cool part. We just decided to go to an LM Engineering filter adapter that lets us use a standard sealed filter, so we're not taking the housing on and off every time. We're going to do that, put fresh oil in it for the long trip, and also do the front brakes. And that'll be coming up. We have 3 weekends before we leave. 2 weekends, sorry, before we leave. So we'll get this done. Hope you enjoyed it. Super simple. Don't be afraid. Gonna do the other side. Hit the subscribe, hit the like, hit the notification bell. Give us some comments, some suggestions, something I might have missed. We're in our garage. We're on the floor, on jack stands. You can do it too. Have a great week, and God bless. And of course, I wiped down a little bit. It's not super clean. It's going to get dirty again. We drive it. Have a great week, y'all.